If Mana Rock's got you down, shut them down with Damping Field. It's going to make it so only one artifact gets to untap during an untap step, so no ramp for anybody except for a green deck. If your artifacts keep getting removed, run some better protection or run Reconstruction. For 1 blue, you can bring 1 artifact card from your graveyard back to your hand. It's raised dead for artifacts. Sorry, Karn, I've got the OG of the OGs of turning artifacts into creatures. That's Zenith Poltergeist. You can tap it to turn a non-creature artifact into an artifact creature equal to its casting cost and power and toughness. Let's get it. 1 mana removal is king, but I never seen anybody run Crumble. For 1 green, you can destroy a target artifact, and they gain life equal to the artifact's casting cost. Who cares if it's a Soul Ring? If the blue player always has too many cards, try Cursed Rack. For 4 mana, this artifact's going to make it so their maximum hand size is only 4. They're not going to keep that grip of cards, and you might have a shot at winning. Did you know Sithis' greatest enemy is Albert Einstein? You can see that with President of the Master. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment that counters any new enchantments, and it's got Albert Einstein on the art. Weird. 2 untapped blue mana makes any opponent sweat, but make them sweat harder with Reset. For 2 blue, you can untap all your lands. You have to play it during an opponent's turn. However, you can counter everything in the future. If your Get Rock deck needs an easy way to get lands in the graveyard, try Horror of Horrors. This enchantment costs 5 mana and allows you to sacrifice swamps to regenerate black creatures so you can keep your board safe and get some card draw. If you want to turn your next Commander game into a discard fest, try Land's Edge. This 3 mana enchantment allows anybody to discard a card and it deals 2 damage to target player. Who's got the best card advantage? If you like recycling creatures out of your graveyard, try Reincarnation. It's a 3 mana instant, and if target creature is placed in the graveyard this turn, you get to bring another creature back from your graveyard and put it right into play. Stop those annoying black decks with Exorcist. For 2 white mana, you get a Summon Exorcist, I'm sure it's a human now, and you can destroy a target black creature by tapping it and paying 2 mana. They can't hurt you. If you want more reasons to hold up 2 blue than countering spells, try Flood. This enchantment costs 1 mana, you can pay 2 blue to tap target non-flying creature. So at the end of their turn, if you don't counter anything, tap their board down. If you like conditional graveyard hate, I have the card for you, Eater of the Dead. It's a 5 mana 3/4, and you can untap it to exile a creature card from a graveyard, then it untaps. If your mono red deck is struggling, then don't play mono red or run Eternal Flame. It's a 4 mana sorcery that does damage to an opponent equal to the number of mountains you control, but it deals half that damage to you. Worth it. If your opponent's good artifacts have you down, try Scorewood Bandits. For 2 and a green, you can tap it to take control of a target artifact. They can counter it with 2 mana. However, you lose control of the artifact if Scorewood Bandits leaves play. If you like wasting a ton of mana to make tokens, I've got the card for you. Caribou Range is a 4 mana enchantment that enchants a land, then you pay 2 and tap the land, you get a 0/1 Caribou, then you can sack Caribous to gain 1 life. Show your opponents their board is not safe with Magus of the Unseen. This 2 mana wizard is going to allow you to steal artifacts from your opponents and use them, and then give it back to them tapped so they can't use them. Who wants to use their lands for mana but you can use them for damage? That's where Hecatome comes into play. This 3 mana enchantment makes you sack 4 creatures on DTB, then you can tap swamps to deal 1 damage to any target. Burn them out. Make your opponent swing with their whole board with Total War. This 4 mana enchantment makes it so whenever a player attacks, all their creatures that can attack must attack or they're destroyed. Those Land of War Elves are going to combat. If green decks got you down, shut them down with Flooded Woodlands. This Dimir enchantment's going to make it so whenever a green creature attacks, that player has to sacrifice a land in order for it to attack. Hopefully they got good ramp. Sorry, Wall of Roots, I've got the better wall. Wall of Kelp. For 2 blue mana, you get a 0/3 and let you put Kelp tokens into play. These are 0/1 blue walls. They can't do much, but SpongeBob loves them. If Drudge Skeleton's your favorite magic card, you need a mental health evaluation, but you can love Drudge Spell. For 2 black mana, you get an enchantment that lets you remove 2 cards from your graveyard to make a Drudge Skeleton. Are you happy? If you ever wanted a coin flip to go in your opponent's favor, I've got the card for you, Winter Sky. For 1 red, you flip a coin and then the opponent calls it. If it ends up in their favor, everybody draws a card. If not, it's a mediocre board wipe. If you're sick of non-basic lands, I've got the card for you, Primal Order. It's a 4 mana enchantment, and during each player's upkeep, it deals 1 damage to that player for each non-basic land he or she controls. The greedy get punished. If your lands deck needs another way to go through lands, try Renewal. For 3 mana, you get a sorcery that makes you sack a land to get a basic out of your deck and put it into play. Then you also get to draw a card at the next turn's upkeep. If you can't stand playing against Rakdos decks, teach them about pain with Roll Decree. It's a 4 mana enchantment. It's got a cumulative upkeep, which is bad, but whenever a swamp, mountain, black permanent, or red permanent becomes tapped, this enchantment deals 1 damage to that opponent. If you want a fresh grip at all times and don't care about anything else, try Soldevi Sage. For 2 mana, you get a wizard that lets you sacrifice 2 lands to draw 3 cards, but you do have to discard 1 of those cards. It's worth it. If you love making big mana, you need to try Soldevi Adonate. For 2 mana, you get a 1/2 that lets you sacrifice a black or artifact creature to add a ton of black mana equal to its casting cost. I'm shocked this doesn't see more play. If you haven't realized it yet, apes hate artifacts. You can prove that with Primitive Justice. This 2 mana sorcery is going to let you destroy target artifact, then you can replicate it basically by paying that same cost to destroy even more. If your elf deck needs some more gas, try Nature's Chosen. This 1 mana enchantment is going to allow you to untap enchanted creature once per turn, and if it's a Reese deck, you can untap other permanents. If your mono white deck can't push through damage, don't play mono white or run Blinding Light. This 3 mana sorcery is going to tap all non-white creatures, bonus points if you cast Sunblast Angel right after. If your opponent has some really sweet lands you don't have in your deck but would love to use, try Political Trickery. For 3 mana, you get a sorcery that lets you switch lands with an opponent. I'm taking that Nykthos. They always say mono black can't answer artifacts. That's a lie. Phyrexian Tribute can. For 3 mana, you get a sorcery that makes you sack 2 creatures to destroy target artifact. It might be worth it if it's a good artifact. If your opponent's angel deck has you down, shut them down with Chaos Sphere. For 3 mana, you get an enchantment that makes it so creatures with flying can't block creatures without flying, and creatures without flying get reach. If you believe green is the only color that should ramp, you're a monster, but run Seeds of Innocence. For 3 mana, you get destroy all artifacts. Those controllers will gain some life, but your Gigantosaurus will take that away. If your Enchantress deck needs a better way to protect you, try Gossamer Chains. This 2 mana enchantment allows you to return it to your hand, and then target unblocked creature deals no combat damage this turn, so you can cast it again and draw a card. Turn your opponent's mana dorks into card advantage with Betrayal. For 1 blue mana, you get to enchant a creature an opponent controls, and whenever that creature becomes tapped, you draw a card. Thanks, Llanowar Elves. Turn your board into Mutually Assured Destruction with Forbidden Ritual. This sorcery is going to allow you to sacrifice a card in play, then target opponent loses 2 life unless they sack a permanent or discard a card, and nobody's going to have anything except for the 2 other players. If your green deck needs more card advantage, try Rowan. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment that during your draw phase, you reveal the first card you draw. If it's a basic land, you get to draw another card. If you love Zur's Weirding, there's something wrong with you, but try Breast Stealer's Crypt. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment. Whenever any player draws a card, they reveal it. If it's a creature card, they pay 3 life or discard it. If your creatures keep losing during combat, play Better Creatures or run Inner Sanctum. For 3 mana, you get an enchantment that prevents all damage to creatures you control, but it does have a steep cumulative upkeep. If your group hug needs some more fun, run Noble Benefactor. It's a 3 mana 2/2 cleric, and when it's put into the graveyard, each player gets to tutor for any card they want. Turn your winning board state into fresh cards with Infernal Tribute. For 3 mana, you get an enchantment that allows you to sacrifice a card in play to draw a card. Is it worth it? It is if you're greedy. If you want to win through direct damage, but everybody's a coward and tries to win through combat, try Heatstroke. This 3 mana enchantment makes it so every creature that blocks or was blocked gets destroyed at end of combat. If you need big mana for a big turn, try Llanowar Druid. For 2 mana, you get an elf that you can sacrifice to untap all forests. Not just yours, but everybody's, so hopefully you're not in a mirror match. If you hate zombie decks, I've got the card to shut them down, Light of Day. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment. Black creatures cannot attack or block. Hopefully they're not playing Innistrad Blue Zombies. If those Spellsling and Izzet decks have you down, stop their red spells with Chill. For 2 mana, you get an enchantment, and red spells just cost an additional 2 more to cast. Make the Salt flow with 1 player with Precognition. It may be a 5 mana enchantment, but during our upkeep, we get to look at the top card of target opponent's library, then we can put that card on the bottom so they don't get anything good. Turn combat on its head with Death Pits of Wrath. This enchantment's going to make it so whenever a creature is dealt damage, it gets destroyed. It's even better if you have a Pinger deck because you're going to keep wiping their board. Some players just hate combat. Let's make them attack with Imp's Taunt. This 2 mana instant has buyback, so you can keep doing it. Target creature attacks this turn if able. I'm hitting your value piece like Beast Whisperer. If your opponent has an overwhelming board and says, wait till I untap, I'm going to win, play Change of Heart. For 1 mana, target creature cannot attack this turn, and you can buy it back so their whole board can't attack, and they can't win. If your playgroup loves board wipes, try Scapegoat. For 1 mana, you get to sack a creature, then return any number of target creatures you control to their hand. Everybody's going to be safe. You can recast for some ETBs. Make Graveyard Order matter again with Vorash Shapeshifter. This card becomes a copy of the top creature card in your graveyard, then you can also discard cards to make it what you want. If you like playing the same creatures over and over again, play Modern, or you can play Mortuary. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment, and whenever any of our creatures is put into the graveyard, you put that creature on top, so you get it again. Make Combat a Nightmare with Invasion Plans. For 3 mana, you get an enchantment, and each creature blocks whenever able, and attacking players get to choose how the creature's blocked, so they can just wipe boards. What's the opposite of Menace? I have no idea, but High Ground has it. For 1 mana, you get an enchantment, and each creature may block an additional 1 during combat. If you hate those 20-minute wheel-spinning turns, shut it down with Mana Breach. This 3 mana enchantment is going to make it so whenever a player plays a spell, they return a land to their hand. Good luck casting more than 2. Turn your card advantage into pure annoyance with Vorash Dungeon. This enchantment's going to let you discard a card to have target player put a card from their hand on top of their library. You can discard a ton, and they won't have a hand. Let's have some more coin flipping in our coin flipping deck with Fighting Chance. For 1 mana, you get an instant, and each blocking creature you get to flip a coin for, and if you win the flip, that creature deals no combat damage, so your attackers might be safe. If you're a monster that loves counter spells, but you don't have a blue deck, run Null Brooch. For 4 mana, you get an artifact, and you can pay 2 and tap it, discard your hand, counter target non-creature spell. If you want to cause maximum confusion in a commander game, try Defensive Formation. For 1 mana, you get an enchantment, and instead of the attacking player, you choose how creatures attacking you deal combat damage, so some of your creatures might survive the blocks. If you can't afford Bazaar of Baghdad, I've got you, baby, with Attunement. This 3 mana enchantment is going to allow you to return it to your hand, then you draw 3 and discard 4, so your bin gets filled. If your opponents hate attacking, incentivize them with Antagonism. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment, and during each player's end step, they're going to take 2 damage unless one of their opponents took damage this turn. If you have lethal on the board, but everybody else has blockers, stop it with Bedlam. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment, creatures can't block. Don't put this down until you're about to win. Show black decks that only green can ramp with Spreading Algae. For 1 green mana, you get an enchantment that you can only play on swamps, and when that land becomes tapped, destroy that land, and when Spreading Algae gets put into the bin, put it back to your hand, remove all the swamps. Make your creatures super hard to block in combat with Knighthood. This 3 mana enchantment just can give all your creatures first strike, and don't underrate that ability. If you hate those enchantment decks because they take too long on their turns, play Aura Flux. For 3 mana, you get an enchantment that each other enchantment gains pay 2 or sacrifice this during your upkeep. If your token army can't get through because they have a Pillow Fort strategy, try Last Ditch Effort. For 1 red mana, you get to sacrifice X creatures and it deals X damage to target creature or player. I'm sure it's eroded to any target. If your dream is to give every creature vigilance, try Angel's Trumpet. It does just that, and at each player's end step, if they didn't attack with some creatures, you tap them and it deals 1 damage to that player. Who doesn't love some light stacks? You know I do with Damping Engine. For 4 mana, you get an enchantment, and whoever has the most permanents can't play any other permanents besides planeswalkers. They can sack something to play some permanents, but who cares? Move over, Wrath of God. I got a board wipe on a body. That's False Prophet. For the same mana cost, you get a 2/2 when it's put into the graveyard. You get to exile all other creatures. Nothing like a little bit of theft in a commander game. Let's make it happen with Aura Thief. For 4 mana, you get a 2/2 when it's put into the bin. You get to gain control of all enchantments. If you need your sacrifice outlets to do a little bit more, try Attrition. For the same mana cost as most of the others, you can pay 1 black, sack a creature, then destroy target non-black creature. You can wipe boards by sacking. If you want to get beat up at your LGS, play Wake of Destruction. For 6 mana, you can destroy a target land and all lands with the same name as that land. Sorry, monocolored players, I'm wiping out your mana base. If your pod always has a black deck, play Combos. For 2 mana, you get an enchantment, and whenever a black card is put into one of your opponent's graveyards, you can draw a card. That's why you should play these